Belial serves as the first captain of the Dark Angels chapter during the era Indomitus. Born on the semi-feudal world of Burgundia, inhabited by societies of knightly orders, Belial's birth as a noble of the Society of the Ebon Star destined him to be a warrior of great renown. The son of a Magister Militum of the planet's governing body, Belial studied the arts of war from the moment he proved strong enough to lift a weapon, mastering the Burgundian disciplines of strategy, leadership, and chivalry. Entering a tournament of martial skill during one of the scheduled visits of the Dark Angels chapter to recruit aspirants following his 17th name day, despite his father's stern objections, the boy of 11 years, by Terran standards, spurned his destiny as a future Magister. Purloining a suit of armor from a knight of low bearing, Belial concealed his visage and bested each and every combatant of the Ebon Star candidates. Ordered to remove his helmet by Chaplain Lamarok of the Dark Angels, Belial refused to reveal his identity and proclaimed to be capable of besting the Astartes in a duel. Lasting 7 minutes of sparring against the Chaplain, Lamarok forcibly removed the overconfident squire's helmet following his final crushing strike, which had cast Belial to the ground. Deeming the boy to be the most worthy recruit, Lamarok inducted Belial as an aspirant of his chapter, ignoring the objections of the boy's father, stating him to be the most promising recruit ever witnessed by the Chaplain. Ascending to the rank of a scout of the chapter's 10th company, once implanted with the organs of an Astartes, few within his brotherhood could match his skill with a blade. Challenging Chaplain Lamarok to a rematch, the young Astartes defeated the Chaplain within less than a minute. The combined wisdom of the Society of the Ebon Star and doctrines of the Dark Angels proving to be a potent combination. Vindicated in his raw talent as a warrior, Belial sought to further improve, beginning an endless quest to become the perfect knight. A savant of every weapon of war, whether bolter, blade, or any myriad alternative, the consistent improvement of his strategic mind saw to his rise through the ranks. Learning from every defeat and remaining humble following every flawless victory, with his promotion to the rank of sergeant, Belial demanded all who fought under his command to adopt his routines of self-imposed penitence and atonement for past mistakes. No flaw was too small and no blunder too insignificant, as Belial systematically improved upon every wasted bolt round, every inefficient killing strike, and ineffective command. Rising to the position of captain of the 3rd Company, the Unmerciful, following the Black Crusade of the Cornate warlord, Furion, upon the cardinal world of Durga, the company's former master, Nadael, perished, leaving Sergeant Belial as the only worthy replacement. Outmaneuvering the first wave of Cornate berserkers and routing their forces with no loss of lives, Furion's savage counterattack could not hope to match the disciplined lines of the incumbent 3rd Master. Firing one bolter round into each of the foul monster's hearts as it knelt from a wound incurred to its leg, the pawns of chaos fled in the wake of Belial's masterful display of combat prowess. Presented with the Heavenfall Blade, the Sword of Silence, following the campaign by Supreme Grand Master Azrael, this mastercrafted power sword incorporates fragments of the core of a meteorite fallen from the skies of the feral world of Baradad, and only the deadliest close-quarters combatants of their order may carry the Sword of Silence into the fray. Under the command of their new captain, the 3rd Company began to promote many of its members to the elite 1st Company, the Deathwing, following Belial's appointment, the vast majority of its ranks soon encompassing 3rd Company veterans. Increasing the scrutiny imposed on both himself and his men, Belial refused to suffer defeat, allowing for no stains on the honor of the Unmerciful or the Dark Angels. Shrugging off terminal injuries sustained in battle against the Orc war boss, Ghazghul Mag Uruk Fraka, on the world of Piscina 4, prior to the campaign of the 3rd War for Armageddon, Belial and his men staved off the Greenskins within the Cadilas harbor for 2 solar weeks, outnumbered many thousands to 1. Reinforcements of the Dark Angels driving the War of Ghazghul from Piscina 4 before seeing to the wounds of the indomitable warriors of the 3rd. Yet following the death of the Master of the Deathwing, Grand Master Gabriel, aboard the Space Hulk Charnel Shrine during the 13th Black Crusade of Abaddon the Despoiler, the Keeper of the Truth required a new champion to lead his most elite band of warriors. The only candidate voiced by the Inner Circle to replace Gabriel, Belial's reputation as arguably the most reliable champion of their creed could not be denied, and as such, Belial accepted the position of Grand Master of the Deathwing. Wielding an enormous thunderhammer when leading his Deathwing into war zones requiring more blunt actions of violence, the sight of this hulking warrior clad in master-crafted Indomitus pattern Terminator armor instills fear into the hearts of his enemies. Continuing to lead from the front lines, Belial accepted the responsibility for the Deathwing's failure aboard the Charnel Shrine as his own, and petitioned the Inner Circle to destroy the stain on the First Company's honor. Allowing Belial any and all resources to accomplish his mission, the new master of the Deathwing refused all aid from the other companies of the Dark Angels to fight by their side, stating that it was their sin alone to atone for. Purging the Xenos taint within the Space Hulk, corridor by corridor, the Deathwing drove the Gene Stealers from their hovels and directed them to descend upon the Orcs, which shared their domains. Weakening both sides of their opposing forces, the Deathwing culled any who survived, ordering an assortment of Tech Marines under his command to overcharge the Space Hulk's plasma reactor before teleporting to safety. Monitoring the resulting colossal explosion, Belial dispatched search and destroy teams to be sure that all Xenos forces had been eliminated, his trial of 8 days of combat redeeming the honor of the Deathwing in the eyes of all. Privy to the Dark Angels' duty to hunt the fallen angels of their past, Belial's relatively short tenure as Master of the First has regardless reaped a heavy toll on their number. His blunt methods with no hint of flourish, synergizing well when cooperating with the Second Company, the Ravenwing. Belial's relentless nature, when coupled with Grandmaster Samael's ingenuity, has proven to be extremely effective in capturing and slaying the Fallen. Dismembering the fallen Demon Prince, Marbas, during the invasion of the Rock, the lack of worthy foes to face the Grand Master of the Deathwing would be corrected during the Arcs of Omen campaign. Facing the Demon Primarch Angron in combat during the Battle of the Demon World of Wormwood, Belial, for all his skill, could not hope to defeat a corrupted son of the Emperor. Surviving the cruel edge of the Red Angel's chain axe, Spine Grinder, the conventional methods of the apothecaries of the chapter could not hope to save Belial's life. Determining their only means to save him to ascend to the form of a Primaris Space Marine, Belial endured the agonizing surgeries of crossing the Rubicon before rejoining his men in his imposing new form. His increased strength and endurance, a suitable means to salve his wounded pride. With the return of his Primarch, Lion L. Johnson, to the Imperium, the stoic First Captain continues to correct the weakness of his character whilst combating the foes of the Imperium. The deeds of this immovable Grand Master of the Dark Angels continuing to fill volumes of the chapter's gloried records.